Hello, thank you for joining with me for the meditation for lesson 266. Go ahead and sit with your back supported, head and neck free. Close your eyes. Start with a 2x breath in through the nose for a count of 2, out through the mouth for a count of 4. I would repeat that 3 times. Father, you gave me all your sons to be my saviors and my counselors in sight, the bearers of your holy voice to me. In them are you reflected, and in them does Christ look back upon me from myself. Let not your Son forget your holy name. Let not your Son forget his holy source. Let not your Son forget his name is yours. If you would like to move into a 3x breath in through the nose for a count of 3, out through the mouth for a count of 6, and repeat that 3 times. This day we enter into paradise, calling upon God's name and on our own, acknowledging ourself in each of us, united in the holy love of God. How many Saviors God has given us. How can we lose the way to Him when He has filled the world with those who point to Him and given us the sight to look on them? If you're ready or would like to move into a 4x breath in through the nose for a count of 4, out through the mouth for a count of 8, I suggest repeating this at least 3 times. As we move into the silent meditation, use today's lesson or a mantra of your choice to help release all other thoughts and redirect your mind. My holy self abides in you, God's Son. My holy self abides in you, God's Son. If I see you as separate, I claim that my holiness is in me, but not in you. It is only by understanding we are the same, we share the ego thought system, as well as its correction, that we come to realize God's Son is one. We remember our identity by recognizing it in everyone we meet. Indeed, it is only through such recognition, based on forgiving our hidden projections, that such remembrance is possible. Recall how Jesus closes on psychotherapy. Remember the plan for God for the restoration of joy and peace, and do not forget how very simple are the ways of God. You were lost in the darkness of the world until you asked for light, and then God sent His Son to give it to you. The opening clause to the second part of this lesson, the day we enter into paradise, is from the gospel account of Jesus surrounded by two thieves on the cross, one of whom is condemned, the other rewarded by being with his Lord in paradise. Strictly speaking, God does not fill the world with anyone, and so this refers to the purpose of God, represented by the Holy Spirit's forgiveness. Do not take this to mean that God made the world and filled it with people so we would have a classroom in which to learn. He would be cruel indeed if that were the truth. It is His purpose that permeates this world, not His intervention. When we choose to look at it through the eyes of Jesus instead of our own. Thus, the real world of light greets our forgiving eyes with the joy and gladness that heralds our entering into paradise with Jesus and all our brothers. I think the dogs get louder as I read. They're in competition with me. So God's one eternal Son. Let me repeat that. Thus, the real world of light greets our forgiving eyes with the joy and gladness that heralds our entering into the paradise with Jesus and all our brothers, which is God's one eternal Son. And so we happily read a second time these joy-filled words. How lovely is the world whose purpose is forgiveness of God's Son. How free from fear, how filled with blessing and with happiness. And what a joyous thing it is to dwell a little while in such a happy place. Nor can it be forgot in such a world. It is a little while, till all timelessness comes quietly to take the place of time. That's from chapter 29, section 6, paragraph 6. Thank you so much for joining with me today in lesson 266. My holy self abides in you, God's Son. I love you. Have a beautiful day, evening, whatever it is where you are. I will see you tomorrow.